Man, I don't remember anything about the Sandman.
Yeah, Jason's gonna have to take the lead
Hell
on this
yeah.
one.
Oh.
Nah, I mean I remember plenty. I think
I'm gonna rip past ever so subtly.
Yeah.
See if it picks up.
I'll pick it up.
Just be talking about the Sandman here. Well, this is the Off the Shelf podcast. My name is Josh.
I'm Vinny.
I'm Jason.
Today we're talking about.
The Sandman.
Well, we're talking about a lot of stuff, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right now we're talking about the Sandman.
Yeah, we're just gonna have like a nice little chat about the
Nice little fireside chat.
a nice
Yeah.
little fireside chat about the Sandman and how beautiful it is.
Mm.
When I
Should
look
I
at
be playing like nocturnes in the background?
Yes.
This episode.
you should play like a harp. Or,
Yeah.
like,
As a matter of
Violin.
fact, if you buy the deluxe edition of these books, it actually comes with your own instruments you can play. And,
comes with a full orchestra.
With
the
like
full
Chopin
orchestra.
sheet music.
Oh yeah. Comes with a little bit of Mozart.
Yeah. When you first told me about Sandman, I thought it was like the Spider-Man villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like what everyone thinks when I ever mention this.
And then you realize it's much cooler than a guy who becomes sand.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I mean, the Sandman is cool, Josh.
What was that? What was that subtle jab at Sandman there,
No,
buddy? Listen, hold on.
I like Flint.
He is a hard. My man Flint is a hard-working father.
He is, man.
Trying to chase money
Yeah.
to help his dying daughter.
He's
man.
chasing that sandbag.
Oh yeah.
Bro, Sandman is justified.
Sandman is justified. Man, I really like Sandman in Spider-Man 3.
Because he was just literally a dad trying to help his daughter.
Yeah, I kind of
Literally,
wish he was the
You
only
were
villain
rooting
in the
for
movie.
him. You were like, go on, Sandman.
Yeah.
Rob that
Yeah.
bank.
Rob that bank.
Yeah.
Commit that crime. Get away with it.
You
Man,
can do it.
When he
Good.
couldn't grab that locket with her face on.
That scene is like so
Yeah.
like heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I watched that and sobbed.
Sam Raimi really must have like been
Yeah, he must have
He
been
was
going
not
through
okay.
something.
Yeah.
Sam Raimi's. Seeing that makes me so excited for Doctor Strange.
I know. I hope Doctor Strange is.
Because Doctor Strange, even
good.
the trailers alone have just been bananas.
I love how quickly we get off topic from the
I
Sandman.
know.
but the Doctor Strange movie, it looks cool. I'm excited. I can't wait to have Sam Raimi back. See if Sam Raimi made the Sandman TV show.
You'd probably be bananas.
It would be super cool.
Yeah.
But we don't get that. Instead, we get this book. Yeah.
Where's the show on? Like, who
It's gonna be on Netflix.
Oh, it's not out yet.
No,
Oh,
it's
okay.
gonna be on Netflix, and I don't know.
So just based off the trailers, you don't think it looks good?
So-
Is there even a trailer?
I think there is a trailer,
Oh,
and I think I remember just being kind of lackluster.
yeah.
And the cast in itself is just kind of weird. Like
No one fits the role
the
properly.
person,
No one
the main guy that cast for Sandman, I'm not sure what his name is, but Sandman, when you look at him, he's like a really long, slender, really pale, like not even pale like, oh no, I'm not in the sun, like pale like you are, like chalk white,
Like
Yeah.
dead.
like
Yeah.
inhumanly white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the guy that casted is just like kind of normal skin tone, like
Yeah.
like if you saw him on the street, like oh maybe
He's just a guy.
yeah, he's just a guy who maybe doesn't go out that
None
much.
of them really look supernatural or like who they're supposed to be. I don't know. And I don't know. I feel like the Sandman is such like a sprawling book that, yeah.
Like just looking at the poster for it, it doesn't look like the same
No.
at all.
Not at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this.
Like he looks handsome.
Yeah. Yeah. You
But
can't-
the actual Sandman's like a ghoul.
Yeah, like he
Yeah.
is a monster, man. But like I feel like the Sandman would be such a great like 10-season animated show.
Yeah, like Josh, you said it earlier. You said that like most of what Sandman is, or at least a majority of it, is how beautifully the art goes with the brilliant writing.
Yeah.
Like the writing is like matches what we see almost
Yeah.
to the exact image. Like it's almost to the point of like when authors and artists is just the one guy. Like,
Yeah.
like our King Darwin Cook.
Oh, Darwin Cook. Like sometimes you don't even need the words. Like
To understand what's
exactly.
going
You
on.
just look at the pictures and you're like, yeah, But maybe that's the inner 5-year-old in me.
But I also feel like it works so well in the format of a comic.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you tried to translate it to a screen,
it wouldn't work as well.
Yeah, it would be kind of
because like the magic of it is really in the art, and like
it's just gonna kind of come off wrong. Like when it's people acting it's just gonna be misinterpreted. But when it's in comic form, it's just what it is.
Yeah,
there's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Or even like, I mean, even in animated form, it could look good, but I don't know. I don't feel like it would work.
Like the guy who plays what is it, Dream?
Yeah.
Dream?
Yeah.
He better have, like,
a good voice.
nice voice.
Yeah. Like, when I read this book, I think of the voice of Dr. Manhattan in Watchmen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I read it in Alan Rickman.
Yeah, I know you do.
I can hear that. Yeah.
I hear, sometimes I switch between, but I hear, like, a soft, even though Alan Rickman does have kind of, like, a deep, but, like, soothing voice.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, you know, I definitely because of the accent.
I feel like if he ever had the chance to do a voice for him, I feel like to do it right, it would have to be a nice in between Snape and Metatron
from Dogma.
From Dogma. Like, I feel like there's an in between that range.
Like Alan Rickman was
perfect for Dream.
Alan Rickman was born for this role.
Yeah,
and it is a shame. And the only other person born for this role is Neil Gaiman himself, but I don't think he will do that.
Who's also Alan Rickman.
Yeah, they're the same person.
By the way, Alan
never
Rickman,
seen him.
Dream, and Neil Gaiman are all just the same person.
Oh, here he is on the back.
Look at a picture. They're all the same exact person.
They are the same person, man. I don't know. Just the way that this book is like, it feels like it's not part of DC continuity, but yet like Martian Manhunter and like Etrigan and these characters show up. Constantine. I don't know. It really expands the DC universe more than like, I don't know, more than maybe it even intended to.
Yeah.
Because usually when you meet the gods, it's just these, oh, I'm a god, so I'm this powerful. I'm going to lay waste. I'm going to do blah, 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 blah.
But these gods are like in charge of sleeping and death and like
the lesser gods almost.
They're just like...
But they're almost like more powerful in a way.
They're kind of like the night shift workers. Like,
yeah.
like you leave at 12 o'clock with a semi-dirty store and missing objects. You come back in the morning, everything's clean, everything's back in its place, the stock's refilled. The night shift workers, that's who these people are, the unsung heroes.
That is a beautiful way to put it. Oh my god. That is literally perfect. Like, yeah, Constantine shows up in this book. I miss the way that, like, a lot of DC Vertigo books were told. Like, Hellblazer and this. How, like, each issue is kind of just, like, a random story with new characters, and then, like, the main character pops up and helps them out.
That's what I always say about Constantine.
Yeah.
The reason why you can never do a good Constantine, or just like this, on film, is just because of the way it's written.
Yeah.
Like, the way it's written, and the things they do. It's not like how a movie is. It's just random instances.
Exactly.
Like, the book will start with Constantine, like, face down in a puddle, and it'll end with him battling somebody on the moon.
Yeah.
like it's just here, there, random bullshit with little bits of, this thing's happening over here. This thing's happening over here. Bigger, and then eventually just Constantine will stumble into it, or like this, the character will often stumble into it.
It's almost like Dream is not even the main character of the book. Like he's
more of an observer.
He is more of an observer. He's in every issue, but each issue really focuses on its select characters that it wants to speak about, and then Dream just like helps them through it or observes it or whatever.
I really like that
Me
for
too.
the comic. But I feel like,
because the show's going to want to focus on a certain group of characters each episode, and then you can't have this same like experience while reading it or while watching it.
Like you just said, when a show focuses, like, has to focus on the main characters, because it has to follow the plot. You have to boom, 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 boom. You have to follow the straight line. But the way this is written, it's just as if someone just kind of stuck a camera in the top right of everyone's life.
Yeah.
And just watching. Like,
you just watch the same characters.
It just plays out all at different times, all going together.
Like, the best way to do this show is like an anthology series, or like I hate to compare it to this, but like Goosebumps, every episode is different characters, you know?
Has to be different.
The one thing about it is that it is a book. Like, it is based on one of the books. You have Dream here as, like, the Goosebumps book.
Like the R.L. Stein of, like...
Yeah! Like, he is the R.L. Stein of each episode of
Sure.
Goosebumps, or each issue of The Sandman.
Also, there's a lot of very cool visuals in this.
Yeah.
That are gonna take a lot of CGI.
Oh, yeah.
You
like,
know?
every...
They're not gonna do this
No.
with practical effects.
No way. Like, every page is, like, a horrifically beautiful... Like, look at this.
Yeah.
There's, like, green
Goo.
men
Yeah.
crawling from the walls. Like, how are they going to do that in a show unless it's, like, CGI?
If they can manage to do this, I'm a sucker for practical effects.
Me
Like,
too.
Yeah.
if I see practical effect in a movie, I'm just in love. 'Cause
Yeah.
I respect how long and how hard it took. Because as a kid, I watched a lot of Face Off, the shit where they make the masks, they make the costumes for people. And that shit takes a minute. That shit's hard.
Yeah.
That shit always goes wrong.
Oh, yeah.
So to see some of this, like, peak, absolute, like, holy shit, that's a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, artwork.
Like, the camera catches more than you think.
Yeah.
And it can really, like, detect the bullshit. So, it has to look good.
Exactly.
The thing I really love about this series is how, like, each issue is about different characters, but it really makes you care about those characters. I don't know, you really understand what the issue's trying to say or do with these new characters.
You can really feel for the story.
Yeah. Like, almost in a way, you're Dream, and you're going through each issue,
Exactly.
and you're like...
every story is just so gripping in its own manner. Like,
Exactly.
in volume, I really want to say it's 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
There's a story where Dream,
Is it the cat one?
the cat one, where Dream lives out a part of his life, or just an instance as a cat.
As a cat.
And he's kind of like the savior to all these abused and lost cats.
I think it is.
And kind of gives them, like, hope and, like, pride and such. It's just, the way it's written, it follows the stray mother cat who I think's kittens were taken and killed and kicked out. And it's just really depressing, but in the end, it's just uplifting and nice, and it sets a nice message, or it sets a nice tone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like how this story really spans time. Like, it's not just all in the present day. Like, they go back to, like, hundreds of years ago, like right here.
So let's go through the books for people that don't know what Sandman is, or you know, just want to hear what it's about.
Yeah, because we've just been like gushing about it.
Yeah, which is great and it deserves it.
Yeah, but would you like to take the reins on describing what the
happens?
Sandman is? You're the guest, Mr. Jason.
What the Sandman is? So, like I've
Get the people intrigued by the Sandman.
So, like I've been saying, a lot of what this is the writing. And some of the dialogue that Dream has in these books just so lulling and smooth. It's just pleasing to the mind. Like if it's read out loud or you just read it in your head, it's just, the way he speaks is always so melodic.
Mm-hmm. Who is
with
Dream,
purpose.
Jason?
Dream is the god of sleep. He's the Sandman. Mr. Sandman. You know, that guy. He's the guy from the funny jingle.
He wrote that song.
He wrote that song personally. He had a character in that Tim Allen movie where he was Santa Claus. That guy, the god of sleep.
Yeah.
But
how did he get there? How did he become the Sandman?
In this universe, the gods, what are they called? They're
the Endless.
The Endless. They've kind of just, the way they explain it, or at least how far I've gone, they've kind of just always.
They've
like,
just always
it's
been
just
around. They're endless.
There's never not been them.
Yeah. From the dawn of, like, existence.
So they, like, created the universe?
Sure. Maybe. I don't know.
It's more...
It's more like they keep the universe, like, in check.
Okay.
Like, they got their death. They got their sleep. They got their desire.
So they're like different gods to rule different areas.
Exactly. And they're all siblings. They're all family.
That's like pretty classic, like, mythology.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like classic mythology, but then, like, does something pretty, I don't know, different and new with it.
Neil Gaiman wrote a book on, Greek
He did American Gods?
He did that, too.
He did American Gods, and he did Norse mythology.
Yeah.
A book I have, which I haven't read, but in the spirit of this, I will make sure to read so I can come back and talk.
I remember
again.
when you got that book, and I was excited for you to tell me about it, and I'm still waiting.
I'm so sorry.
It's too many books to read.
I've been reading too much manga.
Blame you, man.
But back to Sandman. To Sandman.
So what does he do in this book?
So it starts off. If you don't mind me starting at all.
Oh yeah, go ahead, man.
So it starts off.
I get to rest and relax
with these kind of like Satanist guys. It's a bunch of like rich dudes in cloaks, like in mansions. You know that type.
I know the type.
You know the type.
Yeah.
Been there before.
And they're all like, we're trying to summon this god and steal its power.
Aren't they like they're trying to summon death?
Yeah, they're trying to summon death. And like death, come again to this day. It's just the Rain song but with death. And and then something happens. They get someone. They're like, oh shit, it worked. They're all like dumbfounded.
This is just like Hellboys.
It literally is.
Yeah, no, pretty much. But then
except with less Nazis.
Yeah, and no Mike Mignola.
Yeah. Sadly, no. Actually, he's probably done some art here or there. Somewhere.
He probably has. I have.
But so they summon.
They accidentally summon Dream. The main lead guy is like, that's not death. That's Dream. The reason he knows that is because he had like this.
Mike Mignola.
He had this ancient book of nonsense with which detailed information about the Endless and how one could summon them. Apparently they didn't read it too well because they screwed up a tad.
Yeah.
Man, we should get that guy on this show. Maybe talking about the book.
Maybe the confusion comes because sleep is like death. They're very similar.
Yeah.
Death is a character in these books.
Yeah.
That she is very quickly introduced.
Yeah, sexy Asian.
Yes.
Okay.
She's also very well written because every time she shows up, it's kind of just like at the end of someone's life, and so it's always like a little sad with a quick little pat in the back.
Yeah, she's not in like every issue, but the issues that she's in to me are some of the most like beautiful and like
profound.
Dream is probably closest with her. Like I think.
Sorry, now you say.
Out of all of them, I think there's like 6 or 7.
Yeah,
if I remember right.
I don't remember all of them.
Him and her are the closest. They're the nicest. They communicate the most. They're on even talking. They console each other.
Yeah.
And whenever she shows up, it's usually to console Dream because he's usually at an impasse. Like, I don't know what to do with my life. And so I'll loop back into that later because it's in volume 1, so we'll get to it soon.
Yeah.
So I'll jump back to what I was talking before this. So the old guys, they got him, and like, oh dang, it's not death.
Oh dang.
It's not death, but you know what? We'll snatch him anyways. And so they snatch him up, and when they do that, it flashes a bunch of people all over the world, and it's all these people dreaming or having nightmares. And all of a sudden, it just kind of like stops. No one can dream. No one can really like sleep or nightmares and so on and so forth. Everyone's in kind of a really weird, really like messed up state. There's one little girl who's been.
I was gonna mention her. She's probably my favorite part of like.
Oh
no, you could do it.
I'll handle that part because that's where I'm a little iffy on like their individual backstories. Yeah. Because this beginning story is essentially Sandman breaking out of their containment. And this is like they snatch him up and years go by, like many of years, to the point where the person like
that little girl.
Yeah, the little girl has become like an old woman, and the person in hold of Dream isn't really entirely certain whether or not to believe it's actually like a god in there. And so with that combined with Dream's little smarts, he escapes. And this whole
so nobody's been sleeping or dreaming since he got captured.
It's been like a weird kind of thing, right? It's been like a
the little girl. I can't like quite remember it, but she's having trouble sleeping.
And then she falls into a coma of sorts. She falls into a coma, and this coma lasts like many years.
Ellie Marston is in a charity ward. She's still asleep. She has woken twice in the last decade. Each time she cried for her mother. She still thinks she's 8. Yeah. So it's like you get to see all these different people and how like the lack of sleep or like too much sleep like affects them.
Yeah.
You also get to see the original Sandman, Wesley Dodds, who is a member of the Justice Society. Here he is. Yeah. And he wore like a gas mask and stuff. He was on the Justice Society of America.
And so, through some important details, Sandman escapes, and he ends up helping all these people.
Yeah.
He ends up restoring their, consciousness, I guess you could say.
Yeah, sure.
And then once he's done that, then his next step is retrieving his gear. Because when he was pulled over, he came with a mask, a bag of sand,
and like an amulet,
and an amulet, and
some drip with him. He came with some drip.
He came with his endless drip.
And doesn't Constantine help him get the amulet or the necklace?
No, Constantine helps him get the sand. So Constantine's introduced through he's having terrible nightmares.
And who is John Constantine?
John Constantine, for those.
I like this. I can just tell Jason to do everything.
John Constantine,
it's nice, right?
For those who don't know, is one of the coolest DC characters because he is a badass magician guy.
Oh yeah.
But his life is the worst life anyone's ever lived. Ever. But he just keeps on going because
he gets lung cancer.
He gets lung cancer.
Not in this, but eventually.
Eventually, yeah. He is probably he's one of those characters where you're like, oh damn, that's his backstory. That's sad as fuck. But
no matter how bad of a guy he is, you don't wish that upon him.
But he's top dog. If there is a problem pertaining to magic,
he's who you call.
He's who you'd call.
He's like Doctor Strange.
I'd say he can kick Doctor Strange's ass.
He's the Sorcerer Supreme.
That's my opinion.
DC.
My opinion is he can kick Doctor Strange's ass.
Interesting opinion.
But Constantine is who Batman goes to when there's magic problems.
Yeah.
Just to put it on that retrospective. But so he's having many nightmares. He can't sleep. And Dream rolls up on me. He's like, "Hey, friendo. I'm missing my sand. I'm the Sandman. If you couldn't guess that." And John's like,
"Well,
what?
Without the sand, he's just the man."
John actually says that, and gives a little smacking.
Yeah.
But John's like, "Okay, what's that got to do with me? What's going on here?" And Sandman's like, "One of your ex-girlfriends. You got the bag in one of these little. I think it was an auction of sorts.
Yeah.
And you didn't know what it was, and you just kind of gave it to your girlfriend." And she kind of snatched it and turned it into not really turned it into, but when she took it, it was kind of like a drug of sorts, like a sleep drug.
Yeah.
It was kind of putting her into a perfect dream world. Where
she's snorting lines of sand.
No, literally, yeah. She's literally she has a little bag on her little end table, and she's just pouring the sand out. Mm-hmm. And so John and Sandman roll up on her house, and it's all distorted because at this point she's going on the psychic stuff, but she's just completely lost.
She's losing it.
She's just completely been off the charts. And so they fight through it together. Mostly Sandman's kind of pulling Constantine by the drape of his suit.
Yeah.
But they get to her, and Constantine's like, "I'm so sorry because I'm partially the reason why this happened to you," which we'll explain later. Eventually they get the sand, and Sandman he gives the girl who had the sand. He kind of gives her kind of a little send off. He gives a good dream into death, so it's not bad.
She OD on sand.
When you see her again, she's all shriveled. Yeah. She's a husk of a human being.
No, I think my favorite issue in this whole book is definitely this one, the 24 hours, where
that's
Dr. Destiny. I love this issue because Sandman doesn't even appear in it until the last page, where Dr. Destiny is the main villain of this book or this first volume, where he's an escapee from Arkham Asylum, and he has that amulet that I was talking about before, and he uses it to kind of keep these people hostage in this diner, and it's all these different people, and he's just controlling them.
What is the power of the amulet? What does it do?
That is a great question. I don't remember.
So the amulet can make. Hold on, it kind of overwrites will. So Dr. Destiny has had this amulet for a while. He has modified it to work against its original purpose.
Yeah.
Originally, Sandman just kind of uses it, I think, to help him form realities or dreamscapes.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he uses it to form dreamscapes. But Dr. Destiny, he kind of like modified it, changed it to kind of like change reality, to kind of like be whatever he wants.
Yeah. Sure.
And he
like
completely goes off the range.
He literally takes over this diner and makes these people believe like he's their god.
Yeah.
Like
he wrote God on his chest.
Yeah.
Is that blood?
Yeah. Because he like nails this guy's like hand, or this guy
so
nails
ugly.
his own hand. He is, which is crazy because Dr. Destiny was never like this ugly.
Was he ugly before he got the amulet?
No.
Because of the amulet and abusing its power, he's just like
it's like his mortal form.
Like the other chick.
Yeah.
Like the other chick, she was doing the lines of
sand.
And she just couldn't handle it.
Like too much of the stuff that too much of the dream drip. If you're a normal person, will take effect on you.
Can't handle it.
Like I remember reading this for the first time. Like, why does Dr. Destiny look so scary? I don't remember him looking like this.
Is he in Batman?
He is. He's like a Batman villain, or he's like a DC villain in general. I think he is Batman though.
What does he do?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Okay.
He's just kind of like a supernatural villain, like just like.
But he was never this like
he
grotesque.
Steals things from gods.
I mean, he sure does in this book.
His mom gave it to him.
Yeah.
And his mom got it. I think she got it in trade from like back in the day when they first snatched Sandman's drip.
Yeah.
And she was also Dr. Destiny's mom was also a strong, powerful witch.
Yeah.
And so she recognized his power. She was like, "Oh, this is legit.
She could feel its aura.
This is legit."
Yeah.
And she was like, "My son, take this. This is like big power boost. Go wreak havoc."
Mm-hmm.
And so he went and wreaked havoc.
So she's evil too.
The
whole family's evil.
Yeah. The whole Destiny family is evil. But yeah, just the way he like takes control of these people's lives in this diner. Like these are just innocent random people too. And it's like before he takes them over for like 24 hours.
Yeah.
And before even hour 22, they're all dead.
Okay.
Like either they kill each other or whatever happens, and then finally Sandman rolls up at the end, and it's like it's crazy having so little of your like protagonist.
Yeah.
In the actual issue, where you just seen the villain do like crazy shit.
Well, that's what we were talking about before we even got into the specifics of the story. It's like it's not all about Dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about the other characters.
The other characters.
Too. Yeah.
Oh, and
it really. I'm sorry to cut you off, but it really makes you feel like so much like. You feel for these characters. Yeah, you feel connected to them, and it does such a good job with that.
I like when stories go outside of just the protagonist, because it kind of fleshes out the world a lot.
And then the final issue in Volume 1 is the Death issue, where you meet Death for the first time. I'm sorry for cutting you off earlier, but what were you going to say?
I can't remember. Hold on.
No. I've derailed Jason's brain.
You've derailed my thought, and I already began another one.
Oh, man.
It's fine. I already want to talk about the other thing more than I want to talk about this.
Okay.
So,
lay it on us.
Josh, like you just said, you like how it's all like fleshed out. Like it's not just about Dream, it's about other characters, and Dream's just kind of like he shows up at some point.
Yeah.
Well, in Dollhouse, the second volume of the book, that's where like that takes what book 1 laid out and expands upon it vastly. The old lady in the first book, isn't she the grandmother
to the girl?
She's the lady from the old lady who was in the coma for most of her life is a grandmother to one of the main characters in book 2. And at face value, that doesn't sound super important, but when you read the story,
it is like crucial.
It becomes crucial detail.
Yeah.
You're gonna read like, oh, okay. But we want to spoil it.
I know, this is like such a book that
you might want to read
it. You should read this.
I'll stay a little loose.
Read it. You could talk about, you could spoil whatever you want.
I'll stay a little loose on 2.
Yeah.
Because, we'll get you involved in book 1, so you want to read book 2.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so,
this is something you should experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, the great thing about these books also is that they are also image books.
Or they're Vertigo.
Sorry, Vertigo. My bad. They're DC Vertigo, so they're nice and cheap. And they're not going to rip you off for how much you're paying for them.
That's true. It's
also,
not like...
you get beautiful covers. You get absolutely beautiful
art. DC Vertigo is like something I wish didn't stop. Like now it's Black Label, and it just doesn't... I don't know. Black Label... Like DC Vertigo, they could make new characters like Hellblazer Sandman, whatever. And DC Black Label is more just like Batman and Superman, but like different stories, like more mature stories. But there's something more like interesting about Vertigo when you create all these different characters and expand on the universe.
DC Vertigo is like listening to jazz while also listening to Disturbed at the same time.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
I'll play that in the background.
Yeah.
This episode. So what caused them to branch off into DC Vertigo? What is it?
DC Vertigo.
DC. So there was this woman working for DC, Karen Berger, I think, and it was just kind of a way for them to do more mature books.
Yeah.
So like Alan Moore did Watchmen, right? And Watchmen.
And that's part of Vertigo.
It was. Okay. It was like Watchmen and then Swamp Thing were both Alan Moore, and they like Watchmen completely like changed the game. You know, it was a complete like deconstruction of what superheroes are and what they're supposed to be, and then like after Watchmen, you know, you'd see every book try to be a little like Watchmen, a little more darker, a little more serious, and
for the better.
Yeah. So like Batman got darker, and Frank Miller was like, "Oh, I'm gonna Dark Knight Returns it up here,"
and then he,
you know, kind of lost it.
He got too dark himself.
Frank Miller's fighting his own demons.
He got lost in the sauce.
Yeah. But like,
so are these like the same writers, or are they more independent stories?
They're writers that have worked for normal DC books.
Yeah.
You know, Alan Moore did like Superman and Green Lantern, and Neil Gaiman did like Superman, Green Lantern.
Neil Gaiman actually
Batman.
like a real
author.
He's written books like
novels.
No pictures,
no
words.
Pictures.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
All words on every page. I know, bananas.
Yeah.
What is that?
I actually I picked up a novel with his name on it. I was like, oh, Neil Gaiman.
American Gods.
Yeah, there's a novel and the graphic novel.
It was a novel first, and then he converted it, or they or whatever company converted it to comic form.
That is awesome.
That is very cool.
It is.
Yeah.
And DC Vertigo in and of itself is awesome. It is a great way to get like new mature Preacher was also Vertigo.
At the time, DC broke. DC's always broke. So I mean, I feel like DC Comics are like we're bankrupt. We have no money.
So is Marvel, man.
They're both poor.
Yeah, they were so broke at one time. They were like, let's fuse together and make amalgam comics. JLA Avengers time.
Dude, I have some of those. I have one of the JLA and Avengers crossovers. It's very good.
They're reprinting JLA Avengers into like a hardcover. And I don't know why. I think because George Perez, the guy who drew it, he has like cancer now. Oh. And I think they said he only has like a few years to, like a few months to live actually. Yeah, he's a great writer and great artist. He did Crisis on Infinite Earths, the art. He did Future Imperfect, the Hulk. He's a great artist and writer. And I will definitely pick up a hardcover of JLA Avengers when they do decide to make that.
You villain. I'll just bring in
your floppies.
My beautiful floppies in mint condition.
Yeah, mint condition.
I shouldn't even say mint condition. They're not even first printing. I just have them in the plastic so they don't get wrinkled.
But yeah, DC Vertigo was like way ahead of its time.
The Cool Kids Club.
But it was literally the Cool Kids Club, like Hellblazer, and DC Vertigo was also like, you know how music had the British invasion with like the Beatles and everything. DC and comics had that same exact thing, where it was like Alan Moore and Neil Gaiman and Grant Morrison and Peter Milligan and other people. And
but it ended up. It obviously ended up working.
It ended up working, and
these books reached a whole new like range of people.
Exactly.
To enjoy and
to the point where like they're making a TV show about it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not like this isn't Batman, Superman, Flash related. This is its own thing, and someone was like, "Let's make a show." And even if it's not good, I appreciate.
Might I add?
Yes.
A lot of Vertigo characters have movies, actually.
That is true. Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing has 2. Sandman's getting a show.
That is true.
I'm sure there have been more Vertigo characters that I'm just forgetting to have gotten movies.
There's no Animal Man. Doom Patrol. There's no Animal Man.
He might be in it.
Yeah, man.
They might put him in it. Who knows?
Man, I would love an Animal Man anything. Animated TV series. I don't care. Animated movie. Something.
Well, I mean, Ant-Man's been in Batman Brave and the Bold, right?
Ant-Man?
Oh, Animal? Yeah, I think he was in Batman Brave and the Bold. That's not enough for me. I'll take it, though. Batman Brave and the Bold was rad.
Great show.
Great
Jolly
show.
good show.
Jolly good show. Man, I feel like Neil Gaiman would love Batman Brave and the Bold. You ever watch Batman Brave and the Bold?
Definitely would.
Oh, it was like prime Cartoon Network.
Batman Brave and the Bold managed to be like comic accurate and like kid friendly and hilarious all at the same time.
It was awesome.
And it like reached a lot of characters. It wasn't like here's Batman, here's Aquaman, here's Wonder Woman. It was like, you ever heard of the Weeper? No. Here's the Weeper.
Like,
you ever heard of
Gentleman Ghost?
Gentleman Ghost?
Yeah.
Wham!
Like the thing with Brave and the Bold, the comics was each issue was Batman teamed up with whoever, like whatever DC character the writer wanted to talk about.
Is that the one where they did the crossover with Scooby Doo?
No, that was just classic like 60s.
Okay.
Bro, that was good.
That was awesome.
Was it good?
It was it was like Joker and Penguin were in that.
Joker and Penguin were in a haunted house.
Yeah.
They tried to rip their masks.
And you know what? I was thinking about that movie the other day, and I was like, hold on, the Joker and the Penguin were there. They were just playing pranks.
Yeah.
Why weren't they just murdering? Like, I mean, obviously
it's
they
a kids show.
murder them on a kids show, but like, come on.
Yeah, if this was like the comics, the Scooby-Doo gang would be slaughtered.
It'd be like some Saw type shit.
Yeah, the Joker, oh god. The Penguin would have shot them up with his like crazy umbrellas. Yeah.
So, there is a talking dog in the Batman universe.
Oh, Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess so.
I was trying to think, because there surely is a talking dog in the Batman
There's
universe.
like talking animals, like
Yeah.
Detective Chimp.
Detective Chimp, that's my man. That's my home.
Does Detective Chimp appear in these books?
As far as I know, no.
Okay.
But he should, because he would hang out with all these characters.
Yeah.
Because I know eventually he comes into play with Swamp Thing a lot.
Yeah, I was reading something, and Detective Chimp showed up. Oh, it was Flash. Flash by Mark Waid. He, Detective Chimp helped the Flash and Green Lantern out with some gorilla stuff.
Themed crime.
Yeah, it was Gorilla Grodd.
Like, oh my god, there's a gorilla crime.
Yeah.
Do we know any gorillas? Detective Chimp.
Let's get the best one on the job.
You gotta think like him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Think like monkey to stop monkey.
You gotta become monkey.
Exactly. It's awesome.
No, we gotta go back to monkey. We can't fight monkey.
Yeah.
I'd rather be monkey.
We are monkey.
So what's your favorite book of the Sandman?
Probably mine's the 24 Hours one.
The first one?
I think so. Oh, favorite like volume?
Yeah.
Not just issue?
Yeah.
Maybe the first one. Even though volume 2 is really good.
I mean, I feel like they're all necessary.
Yeah.
But
like they're all so different because each story is so like, you know, unique.
Yeah.
No stories are like really the same, even though, you know, Dream does wander his way in.
I mean, it's the same.
It is the
book.
same.
I mean, it's the same
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
But
Also, we haven't touched upon this yet about Sandman, but he has the most stylish jacket to ever be worn by a person ever.
I agree.
It's like a duster.
It's like a duster, except it doesn't look like you're gonna shoot somebody. it's like what a duster was meant to be.
Yeah.
Like Sandman, Dream, whatever you want to call him, he really pulls off the duster, and plus it has Orpheus.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Morpheus.
Orpheus is his son. The jacket has flames on.
I'm sorry, your name is son Orpheus?
Yeah, no, yeah, son Orpheus. Yeah,
That's like if I named my son Osh.
You see, you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
Kind of screwed up on that one.
That kid's life is ruined.
But his son is Orpheus from Greek legend.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the same character.
Yeah.
Who comes into play in one of the stories later on.
The other members of the Endless. Do you remember any of the other ones besides Death, Dream,
yeah.
Desire?
Is there a lot?
Is there like Destruction?
No.
No.
No, it's
I don't remember
Death, Dream,
all their names.
Desire. I want to say one of them's called Sanity.
Oh, I think you're right.
It's either Sanity or something involving that, because I know one of them's like batshit crazy.
Delirium, Despair,
yeah,
and Destruction. I was right.
Oh, there is Destruction.
Yeah, bitch.
I don't think I've met him yet. Oh, never mind. I can probably, knowing that, I can probably guess the story where it's heading now. Yeah, now
happy to spoil everything for you.
You just ruined the entire series for him.
Good. No, okay. But yeah, Sandman is definitely like one of the best, if not the best, Vertigo book. Like I
better than The Watchmen.
If it's not the best, it's definitely top 3.
Absolutely. Like, if you're gonna read anything, read this.
Yeah, like it is, and it's like a nice long series. You know, you can get really invested.
Oh, absolutely.
And the characters are so great. And even not even like the gods, not even the endless themselves, but just like the characters you meet in every issue.
We mentioned that earlier, how all like the way the characters are written are phenomenal. But like to truly understand, like every story is new random civilians. Like you did like literally
taking place in like any part of history.
It's like any random Tim, John, Joe, anyone could just be like, oh, you're the main character. This is your story now. And it just goes into that person's life and how that person rails into
like how they run into dream or death.
And sometimes it's like relatively normal.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like crazy. Yeah.
So what's cool about these books is that they're pretty self-contained. You know.
Like you don't need other knowledge of DC.
Yeah, like Martian Manhunter's in it, and there's a guy from Arkham, but you don't have to. You know,
yeah, like Martian Manhunter's in it, but he's in like his bathrobe.
They explain enough of the characters you see to understand.
Yeah, like so you could just read this and nothing else and get it.
Yeah, as like an intro to comic stories, like you could just read this.
Yeah, like literally, you read that book, you learn Martian Manhunter is afraid of fire, and
he likes Oreos.
He likes Oreos, which is like two good basic facts about Green Martian.
I even think
not Green Martian.
Mr. Miracle. Mr. Miracle is in this. He's not in costume, but he is right here, also in a bathrobe with Martian Manhunter.
They just hang out sometimes.
Well, they're like Justice League members, I guess. Hanging out at the Justice League house.
The satellite.
Yeah.
And also, like to continue on people that he meets, Constantine, like we were talking about earlier. He meets Constantine and like Etrigan.
Lucifer.
Etrigan and Lucifer. The beginning of roughly the beginning of book 1 is what we kind of glossed over, which is a actually beautiful story. Is so Sandman, he's going to hell to kind of like talk with Lucifer. He's getting his helmet back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going.
Also, Lucifer is straight up David Bowie.
Yeah. Lucifer is David Bowie, and he's going to hell to get his helmet back because his helmet's like another big source of his power. I think his helmet's just kind of like a power boost.
Yeah.
I forget what it specifically does. He kind of like walks it, like he literally like opens the door and like walks his way through all of hell.
Yeah.
And all the demons are like, "What are you doing here? Where have you been?" And eventually he runs into Etrigan, who is the Rhymer of Hell, a badass DC original character. Who kind of
aren't they all DC original characters?
Well,
Jason?
I mean, yes, but Etrigan is one of the. Sorry, he's one of Jack Kirby's originals.
True.
Jack
Good
Kirby,
Jack
the man
Kirby
himself, invented Etrigan. He put pen to page.
Yeah.
And Etrigan has grown so much since then into a awesome character. But I go back to the Sandman.
Yeah, you know what I just noticed?
Is that he speaks in a different font?
No.
I was gonna say
Lucifer.
Lucifer speaks in
they
a
all
different
speak
font.
in different fonts.
Yeah,
I was
cool.
gonna say how you read Volume 1 alone, you meet Constantine, Lucifer, Etrigan. They all have their own solo series. So if you like Lucifer, you could read Lucifer.
You like Etrigan?
If you like Etrigan, you could read.
You like Don Constantine?
Exactly. And there's even a death book. There is a death book.
Future purchase.
Purchase. It's not super long. It might just be a limited series, but you still any character you Martian Manhunter, Mr. Miracle.
Is it the same team as the art and story, or is it?
It has to be Neil Gaiman.
I
don't know if it's the same art.
The David Bowie Lucifer has his own story.
Yes,
he does.
If you ever want to read, I have book 1.
Cool.
Oh, you do?
I heard that you can.
Lucifer,
oh man.
I heard you can read through the entire story and it syncs up with the Black Star album.
Yeah. Well, you need some good reading music.
Yeah.
I always just watch South Park when I read. I get a nice background music background audio going.
Yeah.
I just don't listen to anything while I read. I just get in the book. I just
You just jump in.
I just jump right in.
Yeah. You ever read those Magic Treehouse books as a kid?
Oh yeah.
Jump right into the book.
Believe it or not, I actually don't remember reading like any of the Magic Treehouse books.
What? Really?
Yeah, I don't remember any of those.
How?
I remember like I know they were there, but
Yeah.
I don't think I read any of them. I think I was more like the other books.
Huh.
You guys ever read Geronimo Stilton?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
With the mouse.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
like a mouse detective or something.
Yeah. What about like Flat Stanley?
Yeah.
Yo, Flat Stanley, I remember.
He was the guy. Yeah. Death. Neil Gaiman.
Perfect.
I don't know who does the art though, but you can get the paperback on Amazon for $25.
Not
Nice.
that bad at all.
Yeah. And I mean, it came out the same time as like these books, so it's not
awesome.
like years later he was like, "Let me do Death." It's still under Vertigo, so that's cool.
Is that all we'd like to say about Sandman for now?
I mean, I'd say so for now. Yeah.
For now, yeah, it's definitely a book you need to experience yourself.
Yes.
You should definitely read Sandman Going Through Hell for yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's truly the first like instance of him like pontificating upon himself. I think that's the right word.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big word.
Like
You're so smart, Jason.
like to himself and Lucifer, and so it's like where you really, really get to know him. Like,
Yeah.
get the way he thinks, get the way he speaks, and like,
Mm-hmm.
and when he finishes off like what he's doing in hell, it just leaves on such a high note that you're like, damn, that was a good read. Or like it's just very gripping. It's very, very well written. Like as we've been hammering in.
You know, it's
because he's an author first. You know.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can feel it when
you
read
can
the
feel
story.
it.
Absolutely.
Because like even without the art, like if this was just a novel, this would be still great.
I almost would want to see like how much more depth Sandman could gain through novelization.
Like imagine more words that Neil Gaiman would use to describe the things happening that would be described through pictures.
Because obviously he's describing things very clearly. You know?
Like I'd like to see the script for this. Like, and I wonder if they actually have some of the script.
Like they better have like
I didn't think I saw it.
No.
What are people who like professional like speakers?
Linguistics. Or like
linguistics. Yeah.
Sure.
Linguine.
I think that's like the study of words, but
but like they better have people who are
like an orator.
This sounds super. This sounds super dumb. Professional readers or professional dictionary, whatever. People who are just good at speaking. They better have like god tier writing for the dialogue in this show. I don't want no bullshit.
Didn't they also do an audiobook for this?
They did an audiobook with
James
McAvoy and
they had some good
Kat Dennings as Death.
That's kind of cool.
I forget who everyone else was, but though I remember those were like the big catching names.
When I heard of that cast, I was like, oh, that's the TV show.
Nope.
And then it was just the audiobook, and I'm like, what?
Because James McAvoy, actually, I
think he could be a good death. Or a good dream.
I really dig his voice, or like the way...
Yeah.
I like the way he was portraying Dream's voice.
Yeah.
I felt it was a good...
Did you listen to it?
I didn't listen to like a full episode, but from what they displayed in the trailer...
In the trailers and stuff, yeah.
I liked what I heard.
I agree. You need someone with a nice, soothing voice.
I won't take an entire claim on it, but you know, from what I heard, it sounded like he was doing a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they just couldn't get him.
Yeah.
We know you're doing the audiobook, but you just want to come over here?
Didn't it come out like the beginning of COVID? Weren't they doing it during COVID? Maybe that's why they just did audio.
You may be right, but
I don't know.
I don't think that was like the. I think they were always going to do an audiobook.
Probably.
Like, I don't think it was like, no show, audiobook.
They could have been like, you don't even have to say the words, just lip sync to
Just,
what you read already.
But yeah, beautiful.
So what would you give this series?
I'd give it a Kevin Levin out of Ben 10.
Awesome.
That's our rating system here.
That's your rating system?
Yeah,
pretty much everything has gotten that besides like All-Star Batman and Robin.
Yeah,
so
Kevin Levin out of Ben 10.
Yeah.
That's how we rate. What would you rate it?
Kevin, you know what? After hearing this rating system, I would also approve of the Kevin Levin out of a Ben 10.
Hell yeah.
That's the best that you can do.
Now join us for next episode where we watch all of Ben 10.
Yeah. Start to finish.
Yeah, I love Ben 10.
Good ass show.
Good ass show. Neil Gaiman would approve.
He would approve.
It's his favorite show.
Of no doubt. Of no doubt.